All right, so a big talking point amongst NFL fans lately is expansion and where could they go? So today I have a video. This video is going to be about 18, 18 expansion for the NFL, where they expand to, what divisions they are. Yeah, so we're going to go through all that. How's it going, y'all? It's Mono Sports from Marshall. I just filmed a slow season video about an hour or two ago. And now I'm here. I know. And I apart this the next day. Um, it's Monday, July 10th, 2023 at 2:14 p.m. Central Time. Yes, I'm back in Central Time. So I got my notes pulled up here. So let's do this. So I made this while I was on vacation. Yeah. Let's do this. So we're to talk about 40 team expand. So basically, a couple weeks ago, I made with 32 new NFL teams. Like, obviously, I'm not going to do all that at once, but just figured I'd throw some out there. But here are some good teams that could get. Here's to say that should get an NFL team if they expand. But before we get started, before we get started with that actual ones I picked, here's some honorable mentions. I put as honorable mention Europe. I know, yeah, as cool as a Europe division would be, I would love that so much. It would just be way too hard to deal with it because you'd have to like deal with people going off overseas and jet lag and all that. It's just, I think it's good to play the traditional games at least for a little bit more time. So you get like a good like at least like 16. You get like a whole conference out there. I don't know. It'd be too hard right now. Next up, I have Oakland. I originally had this in the AFC West because just to be a really cool rivalry between Oakland and the Raiders. The Raiders come back to Oakland, like the old Oakland team versus the new Oakland team. That'd be really cool. But it's just Oakland's not the most flashy city right now. To get teams like they lost the Raiders, they're more likely going to lose the A's at this point. Their MLB team plus their stadium's a dumpster. So yeah, I say they would build a stadium there. But yeah. Next up, I have Austin. Now, Austin be really cool to go to, and it's a growing city. I just think there's a different city in Texas that I think has been pushing for an NFL team longer, and they actually have the stadium to do it. They have Austin. That'd be really cool to see that someone too. It's just, I just, I don't, I don't, I don't, I don't, just couldn't find room for it. I'll put it like that. Next up, I have Omaha. Omaha, yeah, I got the Cornhuskers, even though I've heard they haven't been very good. Uh, well, at least football wise, but Omaha, I feel like that's just, I don't know. It's just, I feel like there are better options. I mean, Omaha would be really cool to see. If our team plus you can have Peyton Manning be the head coach and say Omaha, hey, coach a football game, so why not? But Omaha, yeah, who knows? Next up, I have Des Moines or Des Moines, whatever they call it. I have Des Moines in Iowa. It's just I feel like it's yeah. I know they had no wait. Yeah. I know they just had that movie on the basketball movie Champions or something, whatever it's called. I forgot. Uh, I saw that movie. It was great. It was a good movie. I really liked it. I really liked it. But yeah, but Des Moines, I just feel like it's. I don't feel like it's good. It's most flashy, say for a new NFL team. I don't think. I just don't know. Now Europe would be. It's probably its whole division. If I had to pick a division, I put it in the East Division. Oakland would be in the AFC West. Europe would probably be in the NFC East. So I'm honest with you. Austin would be in the AFC South. Omaha would be in the probably the NFC North. And Des Moines would probably be in the AFC North, I think. And then I have Milwaukee. This one I thought about was pretty dumb because they got Green Bay down the road, so that no one's going to support. But they're putting the AFC North because they're not putting NFC North. Yeah, quite a really cool route between Green Bay and Milwaukee. Yeah, that's why I picked. That's why I'm on my honorable mention. But I could go on forever. Anyways, let's do this. So let's start off with the South, with my favorite team division, the Saints, the NFC South. Currently, they have the New Orleans Saints, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Carolina Panthers, and the Atlanta Falcons. I think a perfect team, perfect location. Now I'm not going to name the mascot or anything. I think the perfect location for an NFL team for this division is Birmingham. Because like Birmingham, that's not that flashy of a city. I get it. But at the same time, I just at the same time, uh it would be it'd be so cool because like Alabama is a big football culture. They always have the Crimson Tide, which I get it, they're overrated, but they're slightly overrated, but they're really good. Um and Auburn's also had a lot of good football stuff too. They haven't been as good lately, but still they're still good. They've been a good football team in the past. So I think an NFL team would be really cool for them to support. Plus, it's perfect for like Georgia, Carolina, and New Orleans with where like SEC rivals are out there, like at New Orleans at LSU. Carolina, I guess, with South Carolina. I know it's technically down the road, but still. I guess Tampa Bay with like Florida and Georgia and Atlanta with Georgia, like the college. But that'd be super cool. So I think that'd be a really cool rivalry between those things. And yeah, but now you may be wondering, would it be the Birmingham Stallions? No, I think there should be a spring league. To be honest with you, I think the XFL and the USFL should exist. I think they should merge. I made a video about that a couple months ago. Go check that out. The Marcus, I think it was like a month or two ago. Yeah, but I made a whole video about that. Go check it out. But Birmingham, I feel like that'd be a good place to do it. Next up is the AFC South. They currently have the Houston Texans, the Tennessee Titans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Indianapolis Colts. So I think a perfect team for this, a perfect city would be San Antonio, not San Andreas, but San Antonio. Now this would either be San Antonio or Austin. I think San Antonio you could actually do it today because by the way, Birmingham I forgot to mention. Sorry. What stadium they would play on would probably have a Legion Protected, probably Legion just because it's a newer state or the newer one at least. I think it's Legion if I'm not mistaken. But they could build a new NFL standard with new too. But yeah. AFC South of San Antonio, they will obviously play in the Alamodome. I think they could renovate that, update that place a little bit because I've been to the Alamodome. It's actually not too bad of a stadium. So I'd say it's a B tier stadium, honestly. It reminds me of Ford Field a little bit. I've never been to Ford Field, but in Detroit, but it looks similar from pictures. It's smaller, but like it's not overly small. Like it's not the biggest NFL stadium, but like it's still a solid. It would be a solid, not the biggest stadium, but it's still a solid stadium. Those UTSA, they've been pushing for an NFL team for years at this point. They already have the XFL, which they heavily support. That's what the XFL championship was this year in San Antonio. They had the Saints temporarily, but let's be honest. I know I wasn't around back then, but I think everyone knew back in New Orleans. New Orleans was they got the Superdome fixed up. Yeah. But San Antonio, I think would be a great place to host like NFL. I think it could get a bunch of fan support. Yeah. That'd be super cool. Because if I was Roger Goodell, San Antonio would be on the top of the list, to be honest with you. The list towards maybe even the top city. So yeah. So yeah, but I think San Antonio would be a great team. Plus the Houston San Antonio rivalry would be really cool. Yeah, maybe like, oh, it's just another home game for Houston. It's 3 hours. It's like 3-4 hours away. People think that if Dallas played San Antonio, it would just be another home game for them. That is not true. San Antonio is like 4 hours away from Dallas, 4 or 5 hours. It's not close, something like that. Next up, I have the NFC East. Currently, they have the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Washington Commanders. I think a good team now. I think this would be funny if you put in the AFC West, just because it's a Midwest team. But I have St. Louis. St. Louis, this one they could actually do it now too, because they do have the what's it called, the Edward Jones Dome or the Dome America Center. It's a C tier stand from White Frosty. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it looks all right in my opinion. I think the Almadome's a bit better from what I've seen, but I think the Edward Jones, the Dome America Center, I don't know what it's called today. They could host NFL team. I think they can fix up some things in the stadium. They could renovate it, like do a massive renovation, like not like overly big, like they're at the point where they have to shut down the stadium, but like to the point where it's ready to host an NFL team because don't forget they hosted the Rams back in the day. And then they moved out to go to LA, which they got so far out of it. So I can't really blame them, honestly. But St. Louis, they passionately support the what is it, the Battlehawks. So I think that's if the NFL team, they would support that as well for sure. Yeah. But I forgot to mention Oakland. I think that'd be a good place for like XFL or USFL team, to be honest with you. But NFC East, I have St. Louis. They are playing Air Jonestown. But you could say they could build a stadium. I don't know, but I think you just renovate the one that got them. Yeah. Now the AFC East, you have the Miami Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, and the New England Patriots. I think a perfect team for this is Orlando. Now Orlando, they could do it today as well. They could do it now as well. They have Camping World. I think they're going to renovate that place. That like where the Jaguars play for a couple years, but that's looking more towards like that looks more like it's going to be Daytona National Speedway, which that'd be freaking amazing. This is coming from a NASCAR fan. That'd be freaking amazing that happen. Yeah, but if they race at Daytona, but I'll talk about that later. But Orlando with Camping World Stadium, they can renovate it. I think it's a very old. From what I can tell, the very old stadium. I think they could actually renovate it. It looks like a very generic looking stadium. See, maybe it's, I don't know. But if you could fix up that stadium, or well, I don't know, I don't know if fix up. If you can renovate that stadium, dude, like I think they have something. But if you can renovate Camping World slightly, and even if you don't renovate it, you can have it. But like, I think that'd be actually a good place to put an NFL team. Maybe even add some seats if you really needed to. I don't know about that yet, but attendance, I guess, yeah. But not St. Louis, but Orlando would be great for AFC East. That'd be a great rivalry, and then say rivalry between Miami, which they are like 24 hours away from each other, obviously. But yeah, for Orlando, that'd be really cool. Orlando might be actually the biggest shop. It might actually be the biggest, like the biggest place for people to try, like the most frequently visited U.S. travel destination from what I've heard. I don't know. It's out of there in LA. But it's a big family place too. Got Disney World, so you got a lot and Universal Studios, you got a lot of things around there. And yeah, Orlando would be a great place to host an NFL team. Yeah. That would be towards the top of my list too. Now let's go to the West. Now it's a little I get it's a great transition, but yeah. The NFC West, I have before that, they have the Seattle Seahawks, the Arizona Cardinals, LA Rams, and San Francisco 49ers. The perfect team to add. I think they should put it in Portland. Portland's perfect because it's in the area. Portland, it's like 4 hours away from Seattle, 3-4 hours, something like that. I think it's like a midway point between Seattle and San Francisco, so it's kind of perfect. It's kind of like the West Coast Highway. One US 101. All those teams are off there. Well, I guess aside the Cardinals, but still. Sorry. But like Portland would be a good place. I feel like they do have Oregon State. Now they would have to build a new stadium because I don't know any. God dang. I don't know about any stadiums that could host an NFL team in Portland at the moment, so they would have to build a whole new stadium. That's okay. Gotta do what you gotta do. In fact, you get lucky if you actually had a stadium there. But I think Portland would be a really cool place to have it. Yeah, I know it's not the most flashy. Say I've been to Portland. I haven't been inside downtown, but looks pretty cool. It reminds me of Austin a bit from what I can tell. I mean, just a vibe, but Portland would be super cool. So yeah. The AFC West, you have the Denver Broncos, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Los Angeles Chargers. I think a good team. I think a good place to put this. I know it's a smaller city, but I think it'd be very passionate for an NFL team. I think Salt Lake City is a good place to put it. I know a lot of people mentioned that before. I originally had Oakland in the spot, but Oakland, I just don't think I just don't think yeah, I know there's the Barrier fans. I think they're still truly tied to like the Raiders at the same time. And there's also the 49ers close by, I guess. I don't know. But Salt Lake City, it'd be a brand new market. That's not the most flashy market, but still, a lot of people would want Salt Lake. I think a lot of people want Salt Lake City. It'd be a great like rival, the mountain rival between like very. I think it'd be a great rival between like Salt Lake City and the Broncos. That'd be really cool. Yeah, just because Denver and all the dead mountains. Yeah, but I got Salt Lake City. I think it's a good, perfect for an AFC West team, if you ask me. So who knows? Maybe they could beat the Chiefs. We'll see. But Salt Lake City, they have Utah there. They have Cam Rising as, of course, the QQ back quarterback. They also have Utah State where Jordan Love came from, who's going to be the starting QB for the Packers this year, from what I can tell. But Salt Lake City, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Now let's move on to the North, the NFC North. Currently in that division, there's the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, the Detroit Lions, and the Chicago Bears. I think a good place to put the 15 would be Columbus, which I've heard it's an underrated city. I'm actually going to Columbus a week from tomorrow. Or actually a week from today when y'all seeing this. So I'm gonna take a look at it. Maybe we'll see if that actually true, because they do have Ohio State. And they're very passionate about that fan base. I think give an NFL team as well. If I mentioned South Lake City, they'd have to build a new stadium probably. Yeah, but Columbus, Columbus would, by the way, temporary stadiums, Portland would play in Oregon Stadium. Salt Lake City would probably play in Utah Stadium, like the colleges, yeah. Well, Columbus, they would probably have to build a new stadium. I mean, they would probably, I think they would probably play Ohio State at the Prairie home that they did before they built a new stadium. Which that might be where the Browns move in a couple years, so I don't know if that's gonna work. Well, the Browns might move the Hall of Fame Stadium too, who knows? But because they're fixing up this stadium. But Columbus would be really cool. They got Ohio State's one of the best football schools in the whole United States of America. I mean, just take a look. I mean, the championship sorry, I'm an NASCAR fan. I don't know why it's a championship for football. But Final Four or the playoffs, which are going to expand eventually next year, finally. In Columbus, and that's in Columbus. So I think they could host an NFL team. That's a smaller city, but like if Green Bay can host an NFL team, for sure, Columbus can host an NFL team. Green Bay is a great place to host an NFL team, by the way. Columbus, I think that'd be really cool. Think a good rivalry. I don't know. I don't know about like any like crazy rivalries yet, but I think they could, like the Bears. I don't know. We'll see. Now the reason I didn't put them in the AFC North is because if they're put in the AFC North, there'd be 3 Ohio teams in that division. So I'm not doing that. Speaking of AFC North, the last division of the day, talking about not an Ohio team. You got the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, almost like the Acrisure people, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Baltimore Ravens. I think, you know what? I'm doing it. We're going international. Bring them to Toronto. Toronto, they could probably play in the Rogers Center. They could probably renovate that place up. They played there a couple years ago. I think like 2014. It was like the mid 2000. It was like the early mid 2010s or something like that. Did they play? I think the Bills went in the Rogers Center at one point. Yeah, I know it'd be a multi-use venue, but like, yeah, but they could find build a new stadium too. Yeah, but like, it could work. That's where the Blue Jays play. I know it's a dual use, and literally dual uses are pretty relevant now. Like literally the last dual use, and it was when the Raiders still played in Oakland at the Coliseum. All that, but yeah, trying to see images. Yeah, they literally had it. So I think they could host the NFL there. Yeah, they could. What do you say? I think they could actually make it work though as a dual use. But yeah. Anyways, but that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow I'll have a video on a NASCAR feature that should be brought back once the new TV deal comes, or even earlier than that. That'd be amazing too. But I have a video on a NASCAR feature that needs to be brought back. So yeah, anyways, that'll be coming out tomorrow. So yeah, anyways, y'all, that's it for this video. Thank y'all guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Goodbye. See you on the next one. Peace.